brain receives messages from the body constantly. Trillions of messages every second, letting our brain know exactly what's going on at all times. Are we hot? Are we cold? Are our hormone levels right? Are we in any danger? Are we hungry, etc., etc., and it goes on. As chiropractors, we deal with the parts of the body that enable us to either move or hold ourselves up against gravity. That includes the joints, muscles, ligaments, tendons, and all the other associated soft tissues that all contain special receptors that send messages from the body to the brain, letting it know whether things are sort of functioning optimally. It's very similar to what happens in our cars, actually. Have you ever been driving down the motorway or the freeway, of course, and all of a sudden a light starts to flash on the dashboard? You haven't done anything differently, you haven't hit anything, there's no visible damage to the car at all. However, the engine starts to lose power and it limits you to a now reduced top speed of maybe 40 miles an hour or 60 kilometers an hour. The engine management computer does this in order to reduce the risk of causing sort of potentially catastrophic damage to the engine. There's nothing broken in the engine, but the computer knows that all is not as it should be.
Computer says no.
So it's going to reduce the risk until it gathers more information or it gets checked by a mechanic. The engine management computer is like our brain, and the car engine is like our body. So if a joint isn't working correctly, it sends a message to the brain. The brain will say,
"Houston, we have a problem,"
and protect the dysfunctional joint by causing local muscle spasm. This restricts our movement, so we find ourselves not able to move as freely as normal. And this is our very own version of a limp mode from a car. And if we try and move too quickly, or we do a movement that's above what the brain thinks that we can handle, yeah, you guessed it, we get that unpleasant reminder.
Pain.
And it just gives us an idea that we're not ready to do that specific task just yet. Spinal manipulation aims to get the joints working better, which then changes the input to our brain, meaning the brain no longer needs to protect that area with local muscle spasm. And that results in us being able to move a bit more freely. During the manipulation, or the adjustment as it's called sometimes, you might hear or feel a clicking or popping sensation. Now, this is normal. It's the release of nitrogen gas from within the joint capsule that's been targeted by the clinician. Now, if you don't hear or feel this sensation, then don't worry. It doesn't mean that nothing happened or it's been a failed treatment.
Well, that's a relief.
The problem isn't the gas in the joint capsule. It's the fact that the joint wasn't working properly. But effective as spinal manipulation can be, it's just one of the tools that should be used in a treatment program. So check out the difference between passive and active treatments. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.